Hey everyone, welcome to the Mayor's Table. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Special Olympics. The Four Corners Invitational is right around the corner, August 23rd and 24th. Mark that on your calendar. Sergeant Travis Spruell with the Farmington Police Department will be here to provide information and updates on all things happening with these amazing athletes and the Special Olympics here in New Mexico. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Mayor's Table. Today we have a special guest with us, 17-year veteran of the Farmington Police Department, Sergeant Travis Spruell. Welcome to the Mayor's Table.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Is this the first time we've had you on to talk about the Special Olympics?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. We should be doing this more often.
Yes, sir.
Because you're doing lots of good stuff. We're going to talk today about the Special Olympics, an organization that you've been a part of for all 17 years of your time on the force, as I understand.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to be talking a little bit about the law enforcement torch run, but I think just in general, we'd like to get an idea of what's going on with Special Olympics, kind of maybe their history, things you got going on, fundraising opportunities, because as I understand, Farmington and San Juan County has been a big supporter of the organization itself.
Yeah, it has. So law enforcement torch run, just so you're aware, it supports Special Olympics. So law enforcement torch run was developed or came to be in roughly 1981 from Wichita, Kansas. The chief there, Chief LeMunyon, realized that they needed it was a community policing outreach is what it started with. And then it evolved to him looking at Special Olympics and its underserved community. And so they started running a torch through town to signify the opening of their summer games and raising funds and awareness for these athletes with Special Olympics.
That's great.
Yeah.
So how long have we been doing that?
Since 1990.
Okay.
Back in 1990, he was a lieutenant and then later become chief. It was Kyle Westall. He went to an event in Albuquerque in 1990 with a CSO that we had, which was Sean Archuleta. And then in 1991, they began running the torch. And they were a lot crazier than I am. They started in 1991. They actually ran the torch from Farmington all the way to Cuba.
Wow.
And they handed it off to Cuba, and then other law enforcement officers took it from Cuba on into Albuquerque. But we still do that yearly, and we have every year since. So you will see us at the end of May run the torch. I don't do that far. We do a 5 to 6K typically. Okay. In the last few years, I've been getting our cadets involved, and you'll see us down on the Riverwalk running. And it signifies the start of the game, so all four corners, all agencies that are involved, we meet in Albuquerque, and then the final legs will come into Albuquerque. And then the last 3 years, I've been fortunate enough to run the final leg from downtown Civic Plaza into Lobos Track and Field Stadium.
All right. So all of the agencies up here, Bloomfield, Aztec, San Juan County, Farmington, Navajo, are they all involved in it?
No. Yes and no. Farmington has taken the lead, and we've reached out, and occasionally they will come out and assist us.
So if they're watching right now, it'd be a great time to recruit them.
We have a huge group of athletes throughout the community, and the county and Bloomfield, they have come out, and I've been talking with them to try to get them to come to more events, and they do support us very well, though.
Sure. Well, there's quite a few, I think, events that Farmington PD puts on in regards to support for Special Olympics. This is kind of a separate thing tied into it, but the Special Olympics Four Corners Invitational, is that an annual event?
It is.
Okay.
kids come up from all over the state, Las Cruces, Alamogordo, from everywhere, to compete in the Four Corners Invitational, which is August 23rd and 24th this year.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner. They'll be competing in softball, swimming, and golf, which I have a couple kids, if you want to play golf with them. I know you're a big golfer. They're scratch players.
That'd be great.
I don't play with them. They beat me every time.
I get beat all the time, too. It's okay. Yeah. Well, the Special Olympics Four Corners Invitational, August 23rd through 24th. Obviously, swimming is going to be at the Aquatic Center. Golf is going to be, is it at Pinion Hills?
No, golf is held, Civitan has a group of kids that play there, and then Riverview in Kirtland.
Okay. Softball here.
Softball will be
Fairgrounds Complex.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So people can come out, and if they want to come and watch these kids. And by the way, watching these kids compete, these athletes compete, I mean, it's so much fun. Went last year to support Ryan Hansen during his swimming contest. He reached out to me and told me, he's like, "Will you come, watch?" And I was like, "Of course." And just to see them out there, I mean, they're serious about this.
Oh yeah.
And I think kind of the ceremonies that are involved with it, and the medals and different things, it just makes it a whole lot of fun for everybody who's involved. So I would encourage the community to come out and support these athletes, because they're working hard to be the best they can in these games.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you're aware, but it's not just show up on the 23rd and the 24th. They are required to practice. They have to have, I don't know how many, but they have to have several practices in before they're allowed to show up and compete.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's also just area games. So the area games will happen here in Farmington, where Farmington's team will compete against the other area teams, San Juan and Kirtland. And however they come out, we'll put them in basically a different category, like you would have for high school.
Sure.
Varsity, JV, whatever. And then that puts them in to whatever competing bracket for the state games.
And the Four Corners Invitational, so then there is the state games in Albuquerque?
Yes.
Okay.
That already occurred. That typically occurs the beginning of June.
Okay. Very cool. And, I've been here, obviously, that type of event attracts people from all over New Mexico.
Right.
So, I mean, the parking lots here last year were packed, which is just a symbol to kind of what you've been building on, what Special Olympics stands for, and kind of the support that we see here locally, right, to make these athletes and these games go smoothly. So,
well, the thing with the Four Corners Invitational, what makes it so great is softball is unified, and so is golf. And unified means you can play with a Special Olympics athlete. So the teams for softball they're divided up. Half are athletes and half are unified partners, and we just go out and play softball.
And play, yeah.
And same with golf. They play with a unified partner on golf as well.
That's awesome. All right, good to know. If somebody's interested in participating that way in the unified games, what do they need to do?
The best thing to do would be to get on the website, the SONM, SpecialOlympicsNewMexico.org.
Okay.
And there are different, you can sign up to volunteer in numerous capacities there, but the area director then would reach out to you with Special Olympics, which is Deborah Lisenby, and she would arrange that.
Okay. And on that same website, I imagine, if you're volunteering, if you want to give donations,
yes,
schedule events and things, all that's available on, you said it was SONM?
Yes, Special Olympics New Mexico, SONM.
Got it. I think it's on there. Yep.
Yeah,
.org.
.org.
Yep. And then on Instagram at Special Olympics NM. Wonderful. Talk a little bit about some of the other events. We were talking before we started recording. We all just did a trap shoot event. Is that out at the San Juan Wildlife Federation?
Yeah. So a few of the people I work with, Mark Gaines, he he loves to shoot trap, and he's like, you know what, let's do a fundraiser and let's see if the Federation can get involved, which the Federation was amazing. They gave us the location, the time. We scheduled it through them. They were great to work with. And we invited businesses, organizations throughout the community to come out and shoot with us. And we raised funds that all goes back to our local athletes. So it was a great event. It was June 8th, I believe.
Okay.
But no, yeah, we had a great time. We live in a wonderful community as far as businesses heard what we were doing. They couldn't participate, but they donated items to be raffled off. And then others just gave money as a donation. So it was a great event.
Yeah, $15,000 was raised.
Yeah,
Is that right?
Roughly $15,000. I mean, we raised a significant amount of money for our kids. That's a big event for us.
And then we have another event out at McGee Park called Poly Hockey.
Yes.
What is Poly Hockey?
So Poly Hockey happens every February. It's hockey without, the ice, essentially, without skates. It's running around, and it's floor hockey. And if you have never seen an event, that's my favorite sport. If you think I'm a very competitive person, that's probably why I love Special Olympics so much. But if you are competitive, you have no idea how competitive our athletes are. It's almost as good as the NHL, watching them, push each other around and go for the puck. It's a lot of fun.
And that's every February?
Every February. It depends on the year. Usually it's typically the second weekend in February.
Okay. We'll make sure we mark our calendars for that, because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a great time.
One of the best sports to watch live is hockey.
Oh, absolutely.
So this sounds like a really good time.
Well, they start chirping at each other and pushing each other around. It's great. I mean, it makes you want to go out there and play.
Yeah. All right. Travis, what else is going on with kind of things around the state, maybe with Special Olympics? One of the things we were talking about, Ryan Hansen's used the term ambassador. He is an ambassador for Special Olympics. He's reached out to me about building a Special Olympics training facility, which we discussed would be like a campus. I mean, it would be huge because they do so many sports. But what else is kind of taking place here statewide that people want to know about?
Well, statewide, there's multiple of events. There's different type of games that they do. It really is a group of volunteers to put all these things on year round. But so statewide, as far as law enforcement torch run goes, we have a board that oversees it. We have from area directors, which we have 10 areas, to assistant state director and a state director, and then we have an athlete on that board to be a voice of what they want to see us do, to see fundraising and games. And so we meet at least quarterly, and we discuss those things. And so when you're talking about Ryan, he was on that board, I don't know when, but previously, and he's an ambassador. So we have started a group with the ambassadors from previous years and invite them once a quarter. We all meet and discuss their needs. And the campus he's talking about is because it's sometimes hard for them to find places to practice, because they practice, like I said, they practice quite a bit. But San Juan County is phenomenal when it comes to that. Other parts of the state, they actually make the Special Olympics groups sometimes pay for their spaces. Here in Farmington, they've never, as far as I know, never had to pay for a space, which we're extremely lucky for that.
Right.
It's just scheduling, right, when it comes down to it. It's getting the schedule to get out there.
Well, all the prime times are,
Right.
you've got those organizations that are set in for the year, or for the season anyway.
Well, everybody I know wants to be practicing, and right now, 6, 7 a.m., nobody wants to go practice at 2 p.m. So
Right.
limited space, it becomes difficult, but
Sure.
we're very lucky here. And the ambassadors, you'll see a lot of our ambassadors, Ryan included, they do talking engagements, speaking engagements, and his job as an ambassador is to recruit kids with intellectual disability to come to Special Olympics to compete, to give them a space where, they can compete and have fun and be around like-minded people and go have a good time.
Maybe next time we do the show, we'll have Ryan on or one of the other athletes on. I think that would be a lot of fun to talk to them and get their kind of point of view on some things. So
absolutely,
we'll
I can arrange that.
You can arrange that. All right. Well, Travis, I don't have any other questions on here. Is there anything else we want to make sure the community knows about? Do you have any notes?
No. Really, if you want to get involved, if you want to come out to the games, we would love to have anybody and everybody come out. It is an all-inclusive group, and we truly enjoy it. We have a lot of our volunteers are high school age kids, so our sporting softball teams will be out helping. Come August, I think sometimes I've seen FHS's wrestling team out there, PV out there, so we look forward to seeing everybody come out and support the kids.
Well, you just brought up something I need to share with my kid. Because he needs volunteer hours.
Give me a
for
call.
National Honor Society, so this would be a great opportunity for
I've
him.
got a job for him.
All right. Sergeant Spruell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your work with Special Olympians and caring and advocating for them and the things that they're doing. And I hope we get a lot of people out for the Invitational and certainly for all the other fundraisers that are going on here locally in support of these athletes and their mission. If you're looking for a really feel-good event, I really encourage you to come out for the Special Olympics Four Corners Invitational. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of smiles. There's a lot of laughter. And I always walk away just beaming and impressed with the work they're putting in, the people who are volunteering for it, and the amazing facilities that are made available for all of them.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, as always, for joining us. We hope you're having a great summer. We'll see you here next time on the Mayor's Table.